Okay, welcome, welcome. I can see everybody. Welcome to the call. For those of you that are new, I don't know, I feel like I do see a couple. I'm Jen Marabli, the founder of Team Free&Fit, and we are, September 2nd, right? I know August was a little bit of a doozy for so many, but at the same time, it was record breaking for a few people that I know as well. So I think the call that Amber is going to, give tonight, and the thing she's going to speak about is going to be huge, because what it really ultimately comes down to, I believe in this business, is belief. So that's really where it's at. So I know August was tough, and a lot of us, trust me, you are not alone if you were getting told, my kids are going back to school, or I was getting a crap ton of I'm going on vacation. And that just baffles me, because when I go on vacation, I like to work out and keep up. I do have extra treats or things, but at the same time, I don't know what that means. Like I'm going, on vacation, and I can't even think about it. So we're getting those same things, and it's just a matter of believing and keep going forward. So, and if you are new and you just signed up in a tough month, I don't want that to discourage you, because really you have to say, this is something that you have to, when you sign up, say to yourself, I will be here in 1 year. That's really what you have to do. You can't give it a month or, try this or try that. You have to tell yourself, I'm going to give it all. I'm going to be here in 1 year. I'm going to set clear, concise goals. I know some of you haven't achieved Emerald yet, and I just really want to lightly touch base on that. If you have said to yourself, in 30 days or something, I'll hit Emerald, I want to encourage you that it doesn't require 30 days. It is something that you can take 1 week. You could take 1 day, but really, honestly, you could take a week and just decide who it's going to be that you want to be your first 2 coaches. So if you're serious about building your business and you have a spouse, then I'm going to encourage you to sign up your spouse. They are part of your family. They will be at the top of your organization. It will benefit you. I'm 2 years into this, and that is a pretty solid income opportunity for my family. And my husband's not an active coach like all of us, but he is an active Emerald coach in my organization. So I will encourage you to, if you are shooting for Emerald, to just make that decision and do it. Sign up your spouse, sign up your best friend, your mother, somebody right here. And then, don't get yourself caught up in that diamond is so big and stressful. I know we have a lot of you, I'm looking at some of you that have that goal this month to do it. Don't get so stressed out about it. It's 8 coaches and 2 Emeralds. And think about it like this. Build 2 Emeralds at a time. Get that first Emerald. Make yourself an Emerald coach if you're not. Now let's think about the next 2. Make another Emerald. Get 2 more coaches. That's it. Now make another Emerald and make another Emerald. Just focus on getting 2 at a time. And before you know it, you'll have a diamond in your organization. So let's just really break down the goals and make it simple, and believe you can do it. So with that, I'm going to hand it over. Amber is one of our Star Diamond coaches and has really just seen some incredible success in such a short time. She started March 1st, I believe, was a diamond coach by April 1st, and has really just given it her all. So I just love watching her succeed. I love watching her share or hearing what she has to say. So she's going to talk about belief and really seeing that success before you've got it, before you are the rank that you desire to be, or before you're successful. So with that, I'm going to turn it over.
All right. Hi, you guys. Okay. So first thing I want to start out with, like Jen said, is belief. And more specifically, I want to talk about self-limiting beliefs. Because if you are limiting yourself by talking yourself out of things, using your own words against yourself, getting in your own head, then you're never, ever going to believe in this enough that other people are going to believe it too. So more specifically, self-limiting beliefs. And I want to start off with a little kind of story for you guys, or an example. The things that you believe in your life or as a person are all because of something that you've either been told, you've seen, you've learned, or you've experienced. Nothing that you believe nothing that's in your belief system has come from you personally, unless you've already realized this and taken a really hard look at it and questioned every single thing that you believe. So the first thing is, if I'm going to give you guys an example. If when you were growing up, say so in the story, there's a father and a son. Okay. The son goes to the father and says, our friend, Mr. Ed, they have such a big, nice house. They have all this money. They have nice cars. They have this, that, and the other. They have a pool, all these things. Daddy, why are they rich? Why are they rich? How are they rich? And the dad says to the son, they're rich because Mr. Ed owns a business and he's greedy. So just by that little statement, that maybe the father doesn't even realize what he's doing, but he's then setting that child up to believe the rest of his life that if somebody is rich, that means that they're greedy. It doesn't mean that they worked extremely hard. It doesn't mean that they've devoted a lot of time. It doesn't mean that they have a high education. It doesn't mean that they have, sacrificed. It means that they're greedy. So then that child goes into somebody's house who has everything and thinks, oh, well, they're rich. They have nice things because they're greedy. And that may even discourage that child to grow up and become successful and make a lot of money because they associate money with greed and they don't want to be greedy. That's a negative thing. So do you see how just one small thing that can be spoken over you, or somebody can say to you, or you hear, or somebody's opinion about something can then alter the whole course of your life because now you believe it? You're so impressionable as a child. So most people, part of their story comes from their childhood. Something that happened to them that makes them the way that they are. And it can even come down to as much as like, the more that I've been digging into this, it's so funny to me because now everything that people say, I question it and I process it in a different way now that I've realized this. So like, and I'm going to pick on Jen a little bit, just I hope she doesn't mind, but just as an example, this is something that now, because I realize it, I notice. So Jen would say that she's an introvert. She labels herself as that. She doesn't have to be that. She could choose to be whatever she wants to be. She might label herself as quiet or shy. She doesn't have to be that. Nobody says, Jen has to be an introvert. If she chose right now to say, I'm going to be an extrovert, she could make those steps, decide that's what she wanted to be, and she could be that. Nobody can tell you what you are, what to believe. But the thing is, if you're not making a conscious decision to question those beliefs and make a change, if you don't want to be that way, then it's just going to continue. So I want you guys to really think about that. So it's not your fault that you are the way you are. It's your fault if you stay the way you are. And I'm going to say that again. They say you have to hear something 7 times before you get it, but I'm only going to say it twice. It's not your fault that you are the way you are. It's your fault if you stay the way you are. And I mean that it's not your fault if you believe in something. It's your fault if you continue to believe that something that's bullshit, that's being, something that you've just learned or somebody's told you. If you continue to believe that and it doesn't serve you as a person, if it doesn't serve who you want to be, if it doesn't make you better, if it doesn't get you to your goal, if it doesn't help you become who you want to become, then it's not serving you. So now that I brought it to your attention, I hope everybody on this call now will start questioning all those beliefs. And start really thinking about the things that you say to yourself, the things that you say about yourself. Question those voices in your head that tell you can't. I always say we speak things into existence. You can literally speak things into existence. So if you're constantly saying, oh, I can't do that, that's not me, that's not me. That's not who I am. I can't be that person. You ever, maybe even a top coach like in this business, or somebody that you know who does something and is successful. And I hear this all the time from people that I wish would sign up as coaches. You look at someone and you say, well, that's great. That's great that she's having success. That's awesome that she does that, but I could never do that. Do you guys ever get that? Do you guys ever look at someone and say that to yourself? Oh, well, that's great. That's, that's so awesome what she's doing, but that's not me. I could never do that. If you want that, you could do that. That every single person has the ability to be who they want to be. So, okay. So, I want to talk to you about what happens when you start listening to those voices that are in your own head. Okay, so in this business, we're always saying, like, you need to set goals, you need to have a to-do list, you need to do this, that, and the other, and like kind of know where you're going, have a vision board, do this and that. But when you do that, automatically, if you miss a goal, if you fail, so to say, like, we perceive that as failure, that if we miss a goal or we don't hit Success Club or whatever, if you fail, or maybe you hit that goal and then you lose it or whatever, we see that as like a failure. When that happens, automatically those voices in your head are going to start saying, well, I'm just not cut out for this, or you can't do this, or that other coach got 5-star because they have something that I don't, or, maybe I just wasn't meant for this or whatever. And what that is that your conscience, which is you wanted to hit this goal. You were gung-ho for it. You thought you could do it. You were telling yourself you could do it. But as soon as it didn't go the way that you planned, your subconscious says, well, that's because you're not good enough. Well, that's because, and that is a belief that you have because of something that was told to you. Somebody somewhere when you were younger told you that you were never going to turn into anything, or, people who are successful are greedy, or it's just too much work, or people who own their own business, wind up sacrificing their family life, or whatever it is that you've heard, that now you believe that. And so somewhere in your subconscious, that is always there, and you have to fight it constantly. You have to make a serious decision to say, when something like that pops up and you start talking to yourself that way, or when somebody else comes along and says, you're never going to do that, that's never been done before, that you say, no, I don't believe that. That is not a part of something that makes me better. That doesn't serve me as a person. It doesn't push me harder to my goals. And you choose to just say, that's no longer a belief. But it's something that has to be consciously done every single day, because you're always going to be hearing things like that. And I don't even know if people realize that they're doing it. It's like people say things because they're not aware that it's something in their subconscious that makes them feel like they'll never be successful. So they feel the need to tell you that. So I say all of that, and all of it comes down to personal development. And I really, really believe that that's why that's one of the vital behaviors, is because if you are not feeding your mind every single day, if you are not growing as a person, if you're not questioning those beliefs that don't serve you every single day, then I can tell you right now, you'll never change as a person, and you won't be able to change other people's lives. You have to fill yourself up so that you can pour that growth into other people, and so that you can be that person that is, inspiring and different and bold and stands up for whatever it is that you believe, no matter how many people attack you or don't believe in it too. And that's what we do as coaches. So I think personal development is probably one of the major things that most coaches skip, and that's probably where they're struggling in their business. Because once you really are focused on you that is automatically going to just flow off of you into other people, and it's going to, you know, change everything for you. And even if it doesn't change other people or change their mind, you're still growing. So it's still a win-win for you. So you can have, I really, really want to focus on this. Personal development is so important, like I said, because of the change that you're making within. And I really, really do believe that you can have the most incredible physical transformation. You could have the best photos on Facebook. You could have the coolest filters. You can have the most awesome food recipes. But if you don't believe that you deserve to be whatever coach you're striving to be, 5-star, 10-star, elite, whatever it is, if you don't believe that, then guess what? You're not going to be it. It doesn't matter how much, you know, frosting you put on, you know, sugar coating that you put on your business. If you are not doing that personal growth and you're not changing and growing and bettering yourself as a person, then you're not going to get where you want to be. The one thing that I see as a common thread among all the top coaches is that they do a ton of personal development. I remember seeing a post from Lindsay Matway when she was going through a major, I think she had a miscarriage, didn't she, just recently? And that is something that is so, I mean, I can't even imagine. And what she did during that time is she dove into personal development. She said she read more personal development than she had ever read before. And that's because she knows that in order to overcome that obstacle, she had to really invest in herself. And the only way that she was going to be able to turn that, you know, that awful situation into something that was going to help other people is to work on herself through that situation. So I found that so, so inspiring. And we, as coaches, the thing is, every single one of us that are on this call, everybody that's on this team, if you're actively working the business, we're all doing the same exact things. We're all doing the same vital behaviors. We're all doing the same thing. A lot of these calls are about the same things over and over. And that's because we're all doing these small daily things and it's all the same. But no one can do it like you. And you have to remember that. Nobody can work this business quite like you. You know, you are your best asset in your business because that's what's going to set you apart from other people. So if you're not working on you, then you're hurting the best asset that you have, you know? And so that's so important. So that's basically what I have about beliefs and self-limiting beliefs. You know, get over those. Stop, you know, listening to your subconscious. Stop fighting yourself basically in your own mind and start questioning things. Take time to think about things before you say them. Think about the things that you up until now have believed about yourself and question whether that's truly what you believe or is that just something that came from an experience or something that someone put on you and made you believe. And then make a choice there. And the second part to this is be the coach that you want to be even before you become her. So if you have a goal, say your goal for this year is to become a diamond, or for this month is to become a diamond. What does a diamond coach do? How do they act? What do they do daily? How do they run their business? How do they motivate their team? How do they post on Facebook? Everything. What do they do? And start doing it. You don't even have to be, you could have just signed up yesterday and decide, I'm going to be a diamond this month. So I'm going to start asking to speak on team calls. I'm going to start sharing with everybody what I'm learning. I'm going to start being that helpful person that jumps in the team page and answers people's questions. I'm going to be that source of knowledge. I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to learn everything I can about this business, because you know what? That's what a successful coach does. So you can become that person even before you hit that rank or you're making that, that amount of money every week. You can be that person if that's what you choose to be, but you have to actually put some action behind your goal. The other thing something that I did in the beginning is I studied a lot of the top coaches. I know I mentioned earlier that there's a common thread among all of the top coaches, and they're really, really heavy into personal development, and you can tell that they're changing, growing, and all of that. And that's because I studied them. I went to their pages. I learned about them. I went back to, when they first started. I would look up on YouTube, when did this person that's now a top coach in Beachbody, when did they first become a coach? Okay, 2012, I'm going to their Facebook in 2012, and I'm going to see what they were posting then, and then I'm going to compare it to who they are now. And it's like two totally different people. And it's because over time they evolved and they grew and they invested in themselves and they became that person that they are now. So if you could speed up that process from 2012 to 2015 and dive into yourself and grow and become that person that you're meant to be at a faster pace, then guess what? You could be a top coach in 1 year instead of in 4, because that's what they're doing. So I studied the top coaches. So I encourage you to do that, but there's a second part to this. So study what they're doing. What do they do? How do they act? How do they, what qualities do they have, and all of that. And like something that I took away is PD, number 1. Number 2 is they're always that helping hand. They're always that person that's jumping in, that is knowledgeable, helpful. They're willing to help everyone in the downline. Lindsay Westbrook is probably the best example that I have for this. She is not my personally sponsored upline, and I'm way down in her downline. I mean, way down there. But that girl has reached out to me, I don't know how many times, about, telling me I'm doing a great job, telling me how thankful they are for me. And like, obviously me being under, in the downline do help their volume and the team as a whole, but she didn't have to personally reach out to me and tell me that. I'm not her responsibility, but that shows that's a quality that I recognize. And I was like, I have to be that person. There's people that are my coaches that I want to keep in touch with. I want to encourage them. I want to help them. So that's a quality I picked up. So that's something that I did. And then I did this, and this may sound a little weird, but I went and I unfollowed every one of them, because it's important to pick up those qualities from people and recognize those qualities, but you don't want to get lost in who someone else is when you're trying to figure out who you are in this business. Does that make sense? So for me, I needed to learn those qualities and figure out, okay, this is some little things that I need to start doing and pick up those qualities, but I need to remove them from kind of affecting who I am, figure out who I am, and then do this my way. Okay? Be helpful my way. Be resourceful my way. Post my way. Add value my way, not the way that they're doing it. And sometimes you do need inspiration. Sometimes we get stuck, but I can tell you right now, I haven't had to go to somebody else's page for inspiration since probably the first month I was a coach. And that's because I invest in myself. And I always have something new to offer and something new to say. And I'm feeling something different because I'm changing every day and I'm growing every day. And I don't have to look to someone else for validation. I don't have to look to someone else for an idea, because I'm coming up with my own, because now I'm like, I know who I am, and I think that relays on my posts. I think that relays to my friends and the people that will potentially be coaches on my team. And that's important because I want them to connect with the real me, not not who, kind of something that I got from somebody else, because that's not really me. So focus on you and where you're going and figure out who you are and what you want, and then go get it. And during that time, just really invest in yourself. Like I said, you are your greatest asset in this business, and it's all the same stuff, but only you can do it like you. So that's what I had. And hopefully that was helpful.
Yes, totally helpful. I have a few things to add, but does anybody have questions? Because I would definitely like for that to get out there first. We have 7 minutes, so plenty of time. And it's huge that this business truly is about you becoming your best self. That's what it's about, because as you're doing that and as you're growing, you're able to lead. And to lead others, you first must lead yourself to be able to even lead anybody else. You are your business. These are just a couple of my takeaways. Your business grows when you grow. So if you're not, it's not either. There's that law of the lid in this book that I believe it's this book that I would encourage you guys to read if you haven't yet. This is a great book. I think this was one of my very first books as a new coach, and there's all these great laws in here. But I mean, here you are, the lid of your business. If you're not growing, this is where your business is. You have to keep going to keep growing. And I mean, I really do love that we all, 10, whatever some of us say, 10 pages, but the more you can, the better. So if you're in the car, get on the podcast. There's Shalene podcast. There's a ton. And I mean, we can get in the team page and like list them all out. I'm not a big podcast person, so I don't have a lot to offer there, but I know the Shalene Show and Build Your Tribe, Entrepreneur on Fire. Those are a few good ones. But use your time wisely to be building into yourself. Anything John C. Maxwell. And then anything that I know Tony Robbins does, like a 3-week, what's it called? The Ultimate Edge. So it's like a 3-week immersion of just like breaking that stuff, getting rid of that crap. So, and back to Lindsay Matway, I'm not sure if it was either a miscarriage or a false positive, but either way, heartbreaking. And you're right. I saw her sharing about that and really just being vulnerable and going through that and sharing and diving into personal development. You have to stop focusing on everything that's wrong in your life. I don't know if you guys do that, but some people do. You can't focus on those things. You have to focus on what you're grateful for. Focus on helping and serving others. From that is where your blessings will come. From that is where your business growth is going to come. Really investing and pouring into others, helping other people succeed. Your coaches, your challengers, really, that's where you're going to start to see the fruits of your hard work. Those are just a few of my takeaways, but I'd love to hear questions, thoughts.
What's so funny about personal development is when I first started and you were like, oh, well, one of the vital behaviors is you have to, or you should, I guess you didn't say have to, but you do have to. Yeah. You're like, 10 minutes or 10 pages. And I was like, oh, what? Like, what the heck? And then like when I started You Are a Badass, and ever since then, yeah, I know that when I'm like going to do PD for the day, I need to like schedule out at least 30 minutes to an hour because I get so into it. I'm like obsessed with it. Yeah. When I start listening to something, I can't stop after 15 minutes. If I have more time, I'm like, oh, I'm going to listen to this as long as I can. And that's because as soon as I started reading it and as soon as I started growing, I realized how much growth I needed to do. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is good for me. I feel a change, that it, like I said, it doesn't matter how great your physical transformation is or how bright and shiny your Facebook page is. Like, it's about you inside and what's up here, what you're feeding yourself daily and what you're telling yourself. And so sometimes I'll do like an hour. I won't lie. I'll sit and listen and, do the dishes and just have it playing. And I'm like obsessed with it. And 10 minutes is nothing.
You can spot the ones who really are. I can spot it. Like, I swear, just a few posts, you can really spot who is truly on that genuine journey. That's why I asked Colleen Eddy, or her name's Colleen Curtis now, to speak a week or so back because, and that's what I love about Colleen is that I can spot that she's on that real, genuine journey. And, her whole call was about mindset. If you haven't heard it, It's in the team page. I can post it again, but it was a great call. And that's what caught my attention about Colleen. I mean, we're similarly ranked, started similar times. There's a lot of similarities, but I saw that journey and I was like, I love you, girl. I need you to come talk to our team. And you can just spot it. You can really see that authentic.
You know how I spot it? My girls that come to me saying, like, discouraged because of personal messages, like getting a lot of no's or getting a lot of I don't know, money objections, things like that. I can spot it there because I know that they probably don't realize that I get a ton of that too. I just don't talk about it. You know why? Because it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not about me and I don't care. I'm just like, oh, they said no, move on to the next. It's like, it doesn't even resonate. It doesn't even weigh on my mind, you know? Yeah. And that's something that I got through PD because it just doesn't bother me anymore.
I used to tell Jared in the beginning of my coaching is that when they told me no, I felt bad for them. Like, wow, you don't understand. Like, I feel so bad for you. I didn't feel 1 ounce bad, nothing. I felt bad. Like, you don't get it, what I'm offering you here, whether it was a challenge group or whether it was a spot on this team. I just was like, I don't get it, but I'm here. So my door's open when you're ready. Come on. And I will leave with this quote because I love it. And it says, I just love this quote. If you can figure out why you are doing this and why you will never give up, you can figure out anyhow. And that's the truth. If it's been done, which it has, it can be done by any one of you. That is the absolute truth. So you just got to have that burning why. And that's okay if you don't know exactly, because it can change over time. Mine certainly has over the last 2 years. And it's gotten like really clear to me. Maybe it wasn't as clear in the beginning because I just joined to have something for myself, but it's pretty clear now. So when you have that solid why, you just know that you can figure out a how. So I have to snap a picture because our time's almost up and I'll be sad if I don't get it. Okay. Okay. Tell me you're ready. Ready? Yay. Oh, thank you so much, Amber. That was wonderful. I know that you are busy and put that together for all of us. So I so appreciate you doing that. Love you, girl. I really appreciate it. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye, guys.